Hi, you're probably watching this video because you've enrolled in Principles of Economics for summer semester 2015-16 at Western Sydney University. If you're watching it for some other reason, then I suppose that's okay, although a little odd. But I'm really talking to those of you who have enrolled in this unit. This video is just really an orientation video, and I'll go through some of the essentials that you need to know before you proceed with the unit. Perhaps the first thing I should say is what the unit is about, basically, without giving a long lecture on the topic. Principles of Economics deals with, it seeks to teach you some of the essential concepts that the vast majority of economists are fully aware of and utilize on a regular basis in their analysis of the world. In particular, we can think about two areas, if you like, or subdisciplines, which we will cover. One is what we call microeconomics, and that deals with the behavior of consumers and firms interacting with each other in a market environment, the kinds of problems that can arise from a free market, how it can fail in various ways to be efficient, fair, and how governments might seek to regulate markets, or control them in some way, or even abolish them, if in order to serve the greater good, so to speak. The other part that we'll be looking at is what we can call macroeconomics, and this is looking at what we might say is the economy as a whole. We're looking at aggregates, we're not looking at individual buyers and sellers, we're looking at the consumption of all households in the economy, or investment expenditure by all firms in the economy, and so on. Here we're interested particularly in what can cause the economy to grow, output to grow in particular, what can cause it to fall, that is, what can give rise to recessions, what contributes to inflation, and what could conceivably contribute to deflation as well. These are central concerns, along with, of course, the question of unemployment, that are the focal points of an introduction to macroeconomics. So that's basically what we're going to work through in this unit. Now, we're going to have to work pretty quickly, or you'll have to work pretty quickly, because we really only have 9.5 weeks to get through the material that would normally be gotten through in a semester such as autumn or spring. So that means that given that you have to do, we assume, 10 hours of study work per week, that boils down to, we assume, a work week, about 2 hours a day solid work, at least. So you really have to timetable your days in order to get through all of the material that we need to work through. My advice is that you do try and do a bit every single day, rather than leave it all to the end of the week, or certainly don't leave it to the end of a month. That would be a terrible idea. So you'll certainly fall behind. It will be too much to try and digest in one go. What should you be doing in this unit to study? Well, there's a textbook which contains almost all the content you need for this unit. That textbook is by Sloman, Norris and Garrett. It's called Principles of Economics, 4th edition, by the publisher Pearson. So acquire that textbook because we'll be working through a number of the chapters in that book. Now, it's important that you read through the relevant chapters of the book, and don't just read though. make sure you take notes as you read. If you just read or just highlight, then you're not really going to absorb the material satisfactorily. You'll remember only a very small amount of it, and you won't understand all of it. It's very important that you take notes as you read. That's what helps you to come to grips with, to comprehend the material. So, work through the textbook. At the end of each chapter that you'll be assigned, there'll be multiple choice questions, and you should work through those after you've worked through a chapter, and to see how you're going. There's also, of course, the lecture notes. The lecture notes and also the lectures themselves, which have been recorded from a previous semester, by and large. These are available on the Views site, and we'll have a look at that in just a minute. So I'll show you where you can find everything you need on the Views site. There's also, of course, the accessible tasks. So these are to keep track of how you're going and also to test your knowledge. So for the accessible tasks, there's 4. There are 3 online quizzes which are staggered throughout the semester, which you will have to do. There is a blog which you have to write over the course of the semester on a particular topic of your choosing. Well, I've chosen some topics and you can choose from them. And then there is online participation. And online participation here means participating on the discussion board that's on Views, and also commenting on other people's blogs. So this is online participation. And finally, there is the final exam, of course, which is a 2-hour exam, consisting of multiple choice questions and short answer questions. Now, if you want to know the nitty-gritty details of each of those assessment tasks, then you'll need to read through the learning guide. So the learning guide is to be found on the Views website. So let's go and have a look at the Views website now.